you talk about a reforms to Section 230. What do you have in mind?
Well, you're right. I think, a lot of people have been really buoyant and happy about this announcement that Elon Musk is buying Twitter, and they're very hopeful that he's going to bend their content moderation policies towards a greater embrace of free expression. I'm among those. I'm also hopeful, but as you read there, I think we can do a whole heck of a lot more than just hope that this goes through, and who knows, every day there's a rumor it's going to go through, it's going to not, and then hope that if he does get it, he does in fact engage in these changes. We can use the authorities that we have to adopt pro-speech reform. And I think there's basically 5 core things that we have to do, and you can look at them different ways. But obviously, first is Section 230 reform. There's a lot of, talk about misinformation, there's a lot of misinformation about Section 230 out there. So I'll try to break it down pretty cleanly and directly. Or one of the main provisions of Section 230 is 230C1, which basically says if you leave someone else's speech up on your website, you're not going to be liable if that speech turns out to be libelous or otherwise, illegal or unlawful. I think that's a great provision. It's a pro-speech provision. It lets people leave speech up. And everyone focuses on that portion of 230C1 that defends the status quo.
Exactly.
The problem, among others, is Section 230C2, which has been read by the courts, as Justice Thomas has explained, to give these same websites, internet providers, websites or internet platforms, carte blanche to censor speech, not just with their First Amendment right and within the scope of that right, but with this statutory Section 230 right. And that's part of the problem. And courts blew all the doors off the limits that Congress put in 230C2, so that, again, now we're in a situation in which there's just carte blanche to censor. So I think the first thing we have to do is reform Section 230, largely keep C1, but take the thumb off the scale in favor of censorship. If you're going to censor, do so consistent with the scope of the First Amendment and its limits, but not the statutory right. That's one.